Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Cinco de Mayo weekend, watching the Golden Boy card. And I just watched David Lemieux versus Marcos Reyes. And the main event's coming up, so I had to make this quick. But David Lemieux had a dominant performance, which was to be expected. One thing that wasn't expected, for me at least, is how tough Marcos Reyes was. Like, I don't know what it was, but maybe it was Cinco de Mayo weekend, the pride. He was not going to get knocked out in this fight. Because David Lemieux, if he had like a lack of heart, he would have easily been stopped or quit in this fight. In those first, I want to say the first 4 or 5 rounds were pretty brutal. And then I think it got kind of to the point where David Lemieux realized this dude is tough and I got to pace myself and just fight smart. And he kind of, to me, David Lemieux switched to the point where he was still landing some heavy thudding shots, but he was just kind of content knowing he wasn't going to get the knockout. Because, I mean, if he didn't get the knockout in the first 3 rounds, I don't know what it was going to take. And the reason I underestimated Marcos Reyes is I know he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I don't think Chavez Jr. looked good in that fight. But in his last 2 fights before this David Lemieux fight, he got TKO'd by a guy, Elvin Ayala, right? So it's like you would expect somebody, and Elvin Ayala has since lost, and he has a record of, he has almost double-digit losses. He had, at the time when he fought Reyes, he had 8 losses. So I just kind of expected Marcos Reyes to wilt under the pressure and the power, but credit to him. I had him losing really every round, and if you did give him a round, it was probably because maybe he did better than he was doing in the first fight. He was trying, so I give him that, but it was just very apparent that he didn't have the power to get and really warrant David Lemieux's respect. But it was a good performance. But just like the Lucas Matisse, this was a good Canelo audition, because they say David Lemieux might be in the running for a Canelo fight. It was an entertaining performance. There was blood everywhere, mostly from Reyes. It was a nasty punch. David Lemieux was throwing some vicious hooks. He just fought against Curtis Stevens, has a knockout of the year. This kept him fresh and kept him active, kept him relevant, and he looked good. He looked sharp. But like I said, with the Lucas Matisse post-fight commentary, this was to be expected. Again, your opponent, Marcos Reyes, lost to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when he wasn't training and failed to make weight, and then he's been stopped in his last 2 fights. So I expected this. I just didn't expect maybe the heart of Reyes, the heart to go the distance when the going got tough, but he showed that, so I'm not gonna ever take that away from a man. David Lemieux, other thing I noticed in his last 2 fights, it's like really since the Triple G fight, David Lemieux doesn't seem to be in as good of shape. I don't know if it's getting harder and harder to make weight. I don't really see him being as successful with his stature. I think he's too short for 168. So I think he needs to kind of get that under control. But I mean, to his credit, he was able to pace himself and he didn't like gas out. He never was in really any trouble versus Reyes. Like I said, Reyes was trying to shoe shine him, letting his hands go, but it was just nothing. And it might be a credit to Lemieux's early work. You know what I mean? That takes steam off your punches because it de-energizes you and stuff like that. So solid, very solid Canelo audition. It clearly wasn't a performance where you'd be like, oh, he doesn't deserve a Canelo fight. So if the Canelo Golovkin fight doesn't get made for whatever reason, which I'm not holding my breath for, then I think the David Lemieux might be a likely option. 2 action fighters. Canelo has a better defense. Lemieux, to me, is probably the hardest single shot puncher at middleweight. Probably. I mean, there's David Lemieux, you got Canelo. We have to see what he looks like in the main event. Obviously, Gennady Golovkin. There's a lot of guys who have power. Jamal Charlo's power will probably carry up, but David Lemieux, just the way he throws and throws with bad intent. So if for whatever reason Golovkin doesn't happen with Canelo next, then maybe we'll get that. And to be honest, I'm not that anti that fight. One-sided beatdown. Like I said, props to Reyes for showing heart. I think he can get future paydays. Obviously, he's not top of the division or anything like that, but he can get future paydays after showing the resilience that he showed, and just being durable. Like I said, I didn't really have him winning any rounds. But back to boxing, back to the main event. Let me know what you guys think. What did you see? Did you see anything David Lemieux needs to? I think he needs to, like, I can't really, I think he can maybe put up a better showing versus Golovkin, but the way he fights, even with this, he seems his last 2 fights, he's trying to smoke dudes out of there early. You know what I mean? He's trying to get a good start and stuff like that, and he's not playing the waiting game, but still Golovkin has better technique to me. He's taller, longer reach, and he has a good jab with power you have to respect as well. So I don't know if I really see that fight being different. I think he could do, I think he could do better than what he did the first time, but I haven't seen enough, you know what I mean, to say he would beat Golovkin. But I mean, maybe that's a fight that they make if they don't make the Canelo fight. I know he wants the Triple G fight, but I don't know. I still see the same. He's kind of wide with his punches. He's putting a lot on him, but Triple G would probably try it, especially after he's been knocking out Curtis Stevens and bloodying up Reyes and everything since the Glenn Tapia and all these fights since. He will probably just try to use the same game plan, which is keep him at bay with the jab. Main event time. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be back with post-fight for the main event. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video. Like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.